Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Our education system is under scrutiny after the release of the latest NAPLAN results, showing we're lagging behind the national average. Declining literacy and numeracy has many worried, with the government conceding more support is needed.
The Education Minister out spruiking the government's brick and mortar investment in learning during a contemporary classroom project alongside the book-themed principal of Burnie's Havenview Primary School.
Reconfiguring spaces inside the building's existing footprint to meet the demands of the students, the families and the teaching that we do here these days.
Children are really excited to see they've been able to watch things develop here, so they're really keen to see their new spaces.
But the visit was overshadowed by the latest learning data. The new look 2023 NAPLAN scorecard out today, showing Tasmania is underperforming on the national stage.
It's a useful check and it raises issues that we need to be able to recognise and address.
Nationally, 1 in 3 students are failing to achieve basic standards in reading and maths, while on average a whopping 40.8% of Tasmanian students in years 3, 5, 7 and 9 are not meeting requirements, with 14% needing support, 26% are still developing, while 56% are either performing strongly or exceeding expectations.
This government's failed to respond to our declining education standards, and they need to do more to support our schools and our students.
NAPLAN underwent an overhaul this year, bringing testing forward to Term 1 and changing to a proficiency system. It means results can't be compared to previous years, but leaders admit there is room for improvement.
Well, this report makes it blisteringly clear that we need serious reform in education.
We always need to do more. We need Tasmanian students to have the opportunities in life that every other student, wherever they live in Australia, has.
Giving our students the building blocks for a brighter future. Victoria Easto, 7 Tasmania News.
Commuter chaos continues with another 120 Metro bus services cancelled in Hobart today. Meanwhile, the Greens have voiced their concerns for plans to cut some Metro services permanently, arguing it's not the solution to relieving the pressure on the public transport system.
And that is going to exacerbate the problems for a whole range of commuters. So we need to be doing all we can to be making public transport accessible, safe, efficient and reliable.
When you have record low unemployment, there are workforce shortages. We'll continue to work through that by providing additional training and support, but ultimately this is a matter that we're very focused on.
It comes after 190 services were disrupted yesterday. A Lindisfarne resident and a passerby have narrowly escaped a bus which veered off the East Derwent Highway, crashing into a neighbouring fence just after 8 this morning. Thankfully, there were no injuries, but some delays were in place as the bus was towed away from the Gordons Hill Road intersection. Meanwhile, there are also traffic delays on Hobart's Argyle Street this afternoon following a 2-car crash out the front of the St Vincent de Paul op shop. One person was pulled from the car, which veered onto its side, but there were no serious injuries. The street was blocked for a short time while the scene was cleared. TasNetworks says a change in supplier is behind a delay in transformer upgrades and it's affecting new businesses. The government-owned enterprise says rising costs have forced the switch, but developers won't be able to access them until December at the earliest.
The transition is important because it gives us a more affordable product that's great for Tasmanians, that pushes our prices down.
Industrial businesses located at Western Junction's TransLink precinct say their operations have been hampered by poor energy infrastructure, with upgrades delayed. The inaugural Chief Executive of Stadiums Tasmania is preparing to oversee the state's 5 major stadiums. James Avery will officially step into the role next month after the GWS Giants season has wrapped up. The new boss excited to bring his family over to Tasmania, as well as a long list of contacts, hoping to help with negotiations on the proposed Macquarie Point Stadium.
I've got great relationships with a whole range of people at the AFL, having worked in the AFL industry for a long time. And I'm looking forward to sitting down with them and having those conversations.
Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and our job is to try and deliver something that meets as many of people's aspirations as we can.
The government confirming it won't veer from the $715 million allocated to the new facility. Builders have completed work on a multi-million-dollar facility to educate trade students and apprentices. Investors hope TasTAFE's new Centre of Excellence will bring our skills capabilities up to scratch to deal with increased demand.
Pulling out all the stops for National Skills Week, TasTAFE has unveiled its Water and Energy Trade Centre with a welcome to country to mark the occasion. The state-of-the-art facility will cater for more than 1,200 students and apprentices across plumbing, electrotechnology, air conditioning and refrigeration trades.
You don't need to go to uni to have great opportunities in life. Here you'll be able to train on world-leading equipment with some of the best teachers.
But with great things comes a great price tag. State and federal governments as well as industry sponsors forking out a combined $27 million.
There were some issues with the budget earlier on, but state government come forward with an additional $5 million to make sure we got the centre that Tasmania needed for the future rather than one that was just built to budget.
Timing delays another spanner in the works.
I don't think anything's been delivered on time over COVID, all right, but we're very happy with the timing of it. It is probably about 3 or 4 months later than what we would have liked it to be.
But it will all be worth it if the Clarence campus can relieve building delays sweeping the state.
This is about planning ahead so that we have more skills for those areas where we need them to allow our country to grow and to increase productivity right across the economy.
A sign of good things to come for the state. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Local performers will have the chance to shine at a popular Tasmanian festival. The Taste of Summer has started the search for around 50 artists to complement the foodie festivities. Organisers are seeking a range of genres to dazzle on the main stage from noon to 10 p.m.
We're after people who are playing ambient, kind of nice, chill, laid-back vibes in the daytime, and then the energy kind of lifts throughout the day, and we want to see people dancing by the evening.
We're coming back this year with a bigger performance. We've got 2 dancers, Ritsa Muramatsure and Eri Hill, who are going to be joining me on stage.
Applications close September 23. Well, some of our finest chefs and hospitality workers are being celebrated on a national scale. They're hoping the recognition will encourage more foodies to visit, further supporting our hospitality industry.
A major accolade for 2 Tasmanian food icons.
It's absolutely a privilege. We're just incredibly proud for Tasmania. It's fantastic.
Institute players Louise Radman and Massimo Mele's Pepina both scored big in this year's Gourmet Traveller Restaurant of the Year Awards, recognising the country's industry-leading chefs and restaurant personalities.
Great to get the recognition, and I think it just goes to show that Tasmania is really up there with hospitality. And we're batting way above our weight.
Louise took home Restaurant Personality of the Year, while Pepina scored in the Restaurant of the Year category, one of 7 state winners. But it wasn't without its challenges, given the industry is in the midst of ongoing staff obstacles.
We've been trying really, really hard to invest in the staff, training, keep that kind of commitment and level of experience in the restaurant up.
Both agree the award reflects back on the high quality of Tassie produce.
Landscape that we're in, the cold climate, it allows us to create wine products, food, gin, whiskey, all of these sorts of things at the highest quality level.
It's something Louise and her husband take very seriously. They're currently exploring cuisines across Norway, Iceland and Copenhagen, looking for inspiration to bring back home.
Institute Polaire plans to reopen on September 8. They're hoping the award encourages more Tasmanians and those visiting the state to stop by.
They're coming, aren't they? I think 7 years ago, I couldn't get anyone to visit me in Tassie when I first moved back, and now it seems to be the place to be, and I think also the place to work.
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
AFL Masters players are putting in the final legwork at training ahead of Grand Final day this weekend. 8 teams will run out onto Skybus Oval on Sunday with premiership titles and third and fourth playoff matches on the program. And there's plenty on the line for the Masters of the Game, with Lauderdale to fight reigning premiers Kingborough for the Division A trophy.
I think there's always pressure when you've gone 10-0. I suppose everyone wants to try and knock you off the perch.
We absolutely understand that Kingston are the favourites and we are the underdogs, and if we do win, there's no doubt it's an upset, but we're super confident with the group that we've got.
It's ball up on a big day of action at 10 a.m. To the TSL, and Launceston's Brodie Palfreyman has been sent to the tribunal after allegedly throwing sand in the face of North Hobart's Angus Norton. He's been charged with serious misconduct for the incident, which appears to be caught on camera in the third quarter of Saturday's clash. The tribunal will decide his fate next Tuesday. They were much improved today, but the Tasmania Wild are still searching for their first win of the 2023 Australian Netball Championships. Tasmania led early against the West Coast Fever in Brisbane. However, the Fever were running hot, pulling away to win 57-42. The championships continue tomorrow with the Territory Storm, Tassie's next opponent.
Good evening. Hobart, Launceston and Devonport all settled on 15 today. Burnie reached a high of 16. Friendly Beach is the top with 17 degrees. St Helens 16, Grove, Strawn and the Bass Strait Islands all 15. Lyawini the low with -2. A band of cloud moved over most of the state today, and to 4 p.m. the highest rainfall was 12 millimetres at Lake Margaret. Thunderstorms are contained in the cloud over the interior of Western Australia. Low-level cloud over coastal parts of South Australia and Victoria. Tomorrow a high is over New South Wales, another over Perth, separated by a couple of troughs over the continent. We'll have west-northwesterly winds at 25 knots, building to 35 knots and even to 40 knots at times over the southwest and central west, swells to 6 metres. So we'll throw in a couple of warnings. A gale warning has been issued for waters between South East Cape and Sandy Cape, and a strong wind warning from St Helens Point to South East Cape, from Sandy Cape to Stanley and also for the southwest lakes. A bit blowy tomorrow, but fine and partly cloudy for Hobart, 18, same for Cygnet, partly cloudy for New Norfolk, 19 the maximum. Launceston 15 and showery, Devonport 15 and showery, Campbelltown a possible shower and 15 degrees. Burnie 14 with showers in the northwest, along the west Strawn showery and 15, Smithton 15, a bit of rain there. For the east though, partly cloudy, St Helens and Swansea 17, Fingal a high of 15 degrees. On Friday, winds turning cooler westerly as showers creep over most of the state. Just a possible shower over the west and King Island on Saturday, otherwise fine but cold. And on Sunday, a fine partly cloudy day, the temperature's still not much chop. Partly cloudy in Perth, 21 tomorrow, a sunny 19 in Adelaide, partly cloudy for Melbourne and Sydney, sunny and warm further north. 12 and cloudy in Hobart right now, 11 degrees in Launceston and Devonport, partly cloudy and 12. And all that news tonight, Kim, about the NAPLAN testing took me right back to my school days. I wasn't very good. In fact, I can't count how many times I failed maths.
Oh, that's terrible. And that wraps up your midweek news on behalf of the entire 7 Tasmania team. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.